Did you know that literally just a single day's delay in paying your property taxes in Racine County could trigger a severe retroactive penalty, one that actually goes all the way back to the start of the month? Crazy, right? Well, welcome to This Explainer. I'm your host, and today we are going to completely demystify the Racine County property tax system. Look, paying your property taxes really doesn't have to be this stressful, confusing chore. By the end of our time together today, you are going to know exactly how to manage your tax bills securely online. It's going to save you time, keep you out of those awful winter lines at the courthouse, and honestly, most importantly, protect you from making some incredibly costly mistakes. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be hitting 1. Why pay taxes online, 2. Critical deadlines, 3. Finding your bill, 4. Making the payment, 5. Troubleshooting, and wrapping up with 6. Final tips. All right, let's dive into Section 1, Why Pay Taxes Online? Basically, avoiding the lines and the penalties. To really grasp why mastering this online system is so absolutely crucial, we first have to answer this big hook question. What actually happens if you miss the January 31st deadline in Racine County? Because it is a strict deadline, you guys, and the consequences of missing it, even by just a tiny margin or underpaying by a few bucks, are honestly pretty severe under Wisconsin state law. If you miss that first installment by January 31st, boom, you completely lose the right to pay in installments for the rest of the year. The entire remaining balance becomes due immediately. And here's where it really hurts. A massive penalty kicks in. Your balance starts accruing interest and a penalty at a rate of 1.5% per month until it's entirely paid off. And here's the real kicker. That penalty is calculated retroactively back to February 1st. So paying securely online is a huge deal. It helps you bypass unpredictable mail delays and ensures your payment is digitally timestamped well before these devastating penalties can even touch you. Moving right along to Section 2, Critical Deadlines and Penalties, the life cycle of your tax bill. Okay, you're definitely going to want to memorize the dates on this timeline. January 31st is when your first installment is due. And keep in mind, you pay this to your local municipality, not the county. If you miss it, February 1st is when those brutal retroactive penalties begin. Now, fast forward to July 31st. That's when your second installment is due. But this time around, the payment goes directly to the Racine County treasurer. And finally, we have September 1st. If your taxes are still unpaid by September 1st, a tax certificate is issued against the property. This basically acts like a tax lien, which creates a very, very real risk of tax foreclosure. So yeah, extreme urgency is definitely required here. Actually, wait, there is one major exception to this rule that we need to talk about. If your property is located within the actual city of Racine, you're on a completely different schedule. The city lets taxpayers pay in 4 installments, January 31st, March 31st, May 31st, and July 31st. And the city collects all of these payments directly. It is so incredibly important not to mix this up with the standard countywide 2-installment plan. You absolutely have to know your exact jurisdiction. Let's jump into Section 3. Finding your tax bill, navigating the Ascent Land Record Suite. Finding your specific bill is actually super straightforward if you just follow these 4 steps. First up, head over to the Racine County Treasurer's website. Once you're there, look for the link to access the Ascent Land Record Suite. This is the main property tax database for the whole county. For step 3, you're going to search for your property. Now, you can totally just use your address, but a pro tip, using your unique 15-digit parcel ID is always going to be the most accurate method. And finally, step 4, view and print your bill. When you get it open, immediately double-check your specific due dates and your total balance so you don't accidentally underpay. Oh, and just a heads up, the current year's tax bills typically don't show up in this system until early December, right after the local municipalities finalize everything. Okay, Section 4, Making your online payment a tale of 2 platforms. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why it's a tale of 2 platforms. The system works differently depending on what phase of the tax year we're in. For your first installment, you're paying your local municipality, usually using that Ascent portal routed through the MSB gateway. Here, you get to choose your payment method. You'll generally pay a flat $1.50 fee for an e-check directly from your bank, or a 2.5% convenience fee for a credit or debit card. But when it's time for that second installment in July, or if you're dealing with delinquent taxes, you owe the county directly. For this, Racine County uses ACI payments, where the credit card fee jumps slightly to 2.75%. And just so you know, because state public sector entities legally cannot absorb transaction fees, these convenience fees are totally standard and non-refundable. Listen, if you're paying that second installment or a late payment to the county using the ACI payments platform, I need you to write this number down in thick, bold marker, 5835. That is the Racine County jurisdiction code. When you log into the ACI system, you're going to select local payments, then real estate tax, and you will absolutely need this 5835 code to make sure your hard-earned money goes to the right place, right alongside your 15-digit parcel key. Don't forget it. Which brings us to Section 5, Troubleshooting and Support, Common Pitfalls to Avoid. Okay, let's talk about where people trip up. These are the most frequent errors that really catch taxpayers off guard. First, trying to use those local assent portals after January 31st. Most local municipalities just straight up stop accepting payments after that date, or maybe after a super brief local grace period. After that, the whole shebang goes to the county. Second mistake, forgetting that 5835 jurisdiction code we literally just talked about for ACI. Third, mixing up the 4-installment City of Racine timeline with the 2-installment county timeline. And finally, if you do end up paying late, trying to pay just the original amount without calculating that brutal 1.5% monthly retroactive penalty. If your payment comes up short, it doesn't clear your debt. Look, if you find yourself stuck at any point, seriously, don't panic. You've got direct lines of support. If you have questions about your bill, delinquent balances, or if you need to set up a structured payment plan to avoid foreclosure, just call the Racine County Treasurer at 262-636-3339. Now, if your issue is specifically with getting a transaction to process on the ACI website, you should call their third-party support line directly at 1-800-487-4567. All right, rounding the corner to Section 6, final tips and disclaimer, securing your payment and peace of mind. Taking control of this process online just unlocks some truly fantastic benefits. First off, you completely avoid having to stand in massive, miserable lines at the courthouse in the middle of a Wisconsin winter. Plus, you benefit from highly secure, direct digital gateways. Imagine finalizing your payment from the comfort of your couch with a hot cup of coffee instead of driving through the snow. You also get an immediate digital receipt, and definitely be sure to save that PDF directly to your files for your financial records. And hey, if you do fall behind, engaging with the digital system is a great way to connect with the treasurer's office to access structured monthly payment plans so you can clear those delinquencies safely over time. Just a quick bit of housekeeping here. Please remember that the information in this explainer is accurate based on sources as of August 2026. Local ordinances, third-party platforms, and processing fees are always subject to change over time. So always verify the latest details on the official Racine County website, and of course consult a qualified tax professional if you need personalized financial advice regarding your property taxes. So there you have it. You are now fully equipped with the ultimate survival guide to navigating and paying your Racine County property taxes online. But I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. Understanding how to pay your tax bill is really only half the battle, right? Your tax bill is driven by your property's assessed value. So are you keeping a close eye on your own parcel's assessed value this year? The cool thing is you can check that right on the tax inquiry page too. If you found this structured walkthrough helpful today, please share this explainer with your fellow Racine County homeowners so they can avoid those crazy penalties as well. Thanks so much for learning with us, and we'll see you in the next explainer.